sitting here out of place, on the fence, on the ranch. Don't know if this is my home. I feel like I don't belong. My horse is my only friend. My fur color has made me an outsider. My ma and pa love my normal brother better. Can he do what I can? Can he feel what I can? I'm alone, alone in my home. Fate steps in and takes my paw. Everything is about to change. Oh God, how things are about to change.
The Unwanted One Part Two. Pictures by WappaLou. Written by the Furry Sith Lord. Kitano sulked as he sat eating breakfast at the kitchen table. His parents ignored him as they focused on Chase. He was still dressed like a college boy, but he had tossed his hat back into his room. "You just look so handsome, college boy. I bet the girls, they'll eat you up," his ma said as she looked him over and Chase blushed. His mother was plump with her hair tied back as she wore a paisley dress. His pa was dressed in his usual jeans that had chaps over them. He had boots but no spurs on them. A blue western shirt and a dark leather cowboy hat. "Now Martha, let the boy eat something. He's come a long ways to get home. How's them schools treating you? All right?" his pa asked. Kitanos tried to ignore them as he ate and thought of ways he could get a new hat since his brother had taken the one he borrowed back. Kitanos actually liked wearing his brother's old hat. Not because it had belonged to Chase, but because it made him feel normal when he wore it. Like he could hide the fact that he was solid white. Other species really never noticed him as being anything other than a rancher. Most thought country boys were too stupid to hold conversations that weren't about ranching. It was only other tigers that gave him a side glance because of his coloring. The hat made him feel like he could hide from them. A couple of kids had accused his ma of being a slut, and he was white because he had a different pa than his own. He got into a fight and had his fur handed to him for it. That was not the worst part. The worst part was going home, and his pa beat him for getting suspended. Kitanos was worried about how he would buy a new hat. He had been saving up his allowance because he found a way to get a proper burial for Butterbean when he died. He didn't want his friend to be chopped up and turned into glue. He wanted him to have a proper burial. Unfortunately, it was expensive and he saved every dime he could. Had it been Chase's horse, he knew his pa would pay any amount for him. Not for Kitanos though, he knew his father would complain the cost was too much, so he had been saving on his own. So far he had raised enough to buy himself a new horse, but it still was no way near what he would need. He had taken any odd jobs he could find to earn a little extra, and he was prepared to sell everything he owned if need be. He was just hoping he could make it in time, because time was ticking down quickly. He could afford a new hat, but his fund would take a big hit. He looked at the clock and realized he needed to run off to school or he'd be late. He quickly swallowed the last of his food after he jumped up. "I gotta go," he muttered as he was ready to dash out the front door. "Wait, aren't you forgetting something?" Chase said to him, and he raised an eyebrow as he looked at his brother. Chase stepped out of the kitchen and returned a moment later holding the hat. "Here, I want you to have this, it stinks of you anyway," Chase said. He smiled as Kitanos took it, looking startled and confused. His parents were busy congratulating Chase on being a good guy for doing that. His father promised to buy him a new hat to replace the one he gave Kitanos. Kitanos walked out and for a moment hesitated, throwing it away, but he did need a hat, and he didn't want to use the money he saved for Butterbean to buy a new one. Kitanos put on his hat and made his way to school. He had a feeling this was going to be a long summer. He just wished Chase had not returned before his school had let out for the summer. This ends Part 2. We hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.
About to change. Oh God, how things are about to change. are about to change.